I want you to cooperate with your process on earth rather than rebel against it. Of course, it is your desire to be completely happy and totally fulfilled and have everything, quote unquote, go your way. And I will tell you, beloved siblings, that when you have allowed grace to transform your no current, everything will go your way. But it is a process. So when something painful manifests, when you find yourself in the midst of a struggle, do not rebel against it, but rather go within to the Spirit of God within you. And we are there to assist you in understanding that this unwanted experience, this painful experience, whatever it is an opportunity for you to once and for all transform the consciousness, energy, and patterning within you that produces the painful, unwanted experience. Now, this path and this process can at times seem to be crazy making because of the repetitive nature, that you must go over the same material within yourself again and again and again. The ego's resistance to being completely happy and totally fulfilled, the ego's resistance to being in heaven can seem to be quite formidable. And as I have given to you in a course in miracles, the ego is insane. But I tell you that it is no match for the great power of God within you. We want you at this time to take a few moments and feel what is happening in your heart chakra. You may be aware of our brother, our sibling, Raphael, who has joined with you in this forum and is working with your heart chakra, your heart energy. Now, you may have noticed that we have guided Brother Daniel to work again and again over these past few weeks with the teaching that came through our sister Rhonda. We will not ask him to go back to that teaching right now, but there is one part of it that we want you to focus on with us right now, as your hearts are being opened and ministered to. And that is self-love. This desire you have to experience certain manifestations on the earth, whether it is joining with a partner or having a career that you love, doing work that you love, traveling the world, having a beautiful home, whatever it is you desire for yourself, it is good, it is blessed, but it cannot come unless there is powerful, powerful self-love. We have often given to this brother the teaching of being caused by God within you to love yourself as you are loved by God. Well, of course, that is impossible. You could not possibly love yourself in the way you are loved by God. But you can love yourself enough to accept your right to be in heaven. Now, what I want you to do right now is just let yourself have the thought, I deserve to be in heaven. And of course, this has nothing to do with physical death, shedding your body. It is a consciousness where you are unconflicted, where there is a river of joy and peace that continually flows through you, where whatever you desire on the earth, you easily let in. So yes, let yourself have the thought, I deserve to be in heaven. It is God's will that I be in heaven. There is no reason for me to resist being in heaven. Now let's make this very, very practical and relevant to what you are experiencing on the earth plane. What are the ways you want to experience yourself on earth? Bring them to mind. Again, have the thought, I deserve to be in heaven. It is God's will that I be in heaven. It is God's will that I let this in. There is no reason for me not to let this in. Feel the power of speaking those words. It is God's will that I let this in. There is no reason for me not to let this in. I am caused by God within me to let this in. And my beloved siblings, We are going to give you an experience right now. We want you to really perceive the truth that there is absolutely no reason not to let in what your heart desires. The ego has made up reasons, but they are not illusion. They are illusions. They are not the truth. The ego has taught you that you have sin, that you must atone for the mistakes of your past, the destructiveness of your past, the unlovingness of your past. Notice how much the ego loves the past and fears the future. But I want you to feel reality. There is just this great spaciousness of love and being that's inviting you to partake of what would make you happy, to enjoy what makes you happy. And so, beloved ones, it is the truth that you have no sin. It is the truth that you have nothing to atone for. It is the truth that you have no karmic debts to pay. It is the truth that all is forgiven and there is nothing to forgive. So see the truth, feel the truth. There is absolutely no reason for you not to let in what your heart desires. You learn through repetition. So say it again. There's absolutely no reason for me not to let in what my heart desires. For God wants me happy. Filled. Enjoying everything. And so we want you on this day to accept this miracle of being caused by the part of yourself that is God. To love yourself as never before. With all of your heart and soul and being, with all that you are and all that you have. And I want you to understand what this means. It means everything you have ever experienced since you emerged from the wholeness of God, to love it all. Release the judgments of it as some things were good and some were bad. Love it all. That is how you will move forward. Let this miracle in. Let us join together. Let yourself speak these words. I am now caused by God within me to love myself as never before. with all of my heart, with all of my soul, with all of my mind, with all of my being, with all that I am. And all that I have within me. It is all blessed. It is all good. It is all God. Now, in conclusion here, we have said to this brother, there is only one problem that human beings have on earth. One problem. And that is the limits that you have learned to place on your acceptance of pleasure supreme. If you were placing no limits on your acceptance of pleasure, and often this happens unconsciously until you choose to be on a conscious path of enlightenment. But if you were placing no limits on your pleasure supreme, you would have no problems, no pain, no suffering, no struggle, no lack. Now, to the ego's thought system, you have every reason to place limits on your pleasure supreme because you have been wrong, bad, destructive, imperfect in the past. How could you deserve pleasure supreme? But let the Spirit of God move you far, far beyond the ego and into truth, where there is never a reason for you to place limits on your pleasure supreme. And so let us let in this miracle. I am now caused by God within me to release all of the limits I have ever placed on my acceptance of pleasure supreme. Pleasure supreme is God's will. Pleasure supreme and love are truth. And now go back to your heart, your beautiful heart that you have allowed to be open. And let yourselves think of all of your human siblings. You cannot make them happy. You cannot make them choose love. You cannot make them walk the path of self-transformation. But you can love them. And I will use the phrase, wish them well. Have the feeling within that you want them to be healed and healthy and joyous and fulfilled. So take in a nice breath and send that intention into humanity right now. Be healed. Be healthy. Be joyous. be fulfilled, be healed,